Funding for Schaefer-Ellis is provided by
Surfshark VPN. Tune in to the end to find out about their amazing service.
Starting today, you can check into one of the over 150 rooms here at the Cartoon Network Hotel. Hotel management say this is the first Cartoon Network themed hotel in the world.
We know that so many families are going to bring their kids into this area. They're going to stay multiple nights at the Cartoon Network Hotel to experience everything here, but then that's going to translate into longer length of stay, hopefully here in Lancaster County, to experience all the attractions.
The hotel is located right off of Route 30 and right next to Dutch Wonderland, and hotel management tells me if you book a stay here, you get a $10 discount on a ticket to Dutch Wonderland in Lancaster County.
The Cartoon Network Hotel is one of life's greatest oddities. Never before have I seen such a potentially brilliant idea for an all-inclusive family resort squandered by such a baffling, half-hearted execution. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. Of all places to open a hotel themed around Cartoon Network, the one and only location they picked is not somewhere famous for housing a lot of vacationing families. It's not open in Florida, or California, or I don't know, one of the other places people vacation, Ocean City, New Jersey. No. The only Cartoon Network hotel in existence was located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Where is that, you may be asking? Well, we do have a pretty famous city in Pennsylvania called Philadelphia. You may have heard of it. And don't you worry, Lancaster is a nice, short, easy 70-mile commute to the west. Why? Look at this. Does anything on this map look fun to you? Okay, that's pretty funny. Anyway, why did they put a hotel all the way out here? Smack dab in the middle of the county with the largest Amish community in the entire United States. Well, as a born and raised Pennsylvanian, I can actually share a little light on the subject. The hotel originally opened in 1971 as a Ramada Inn, which was sold after a couple years and renamed the Continental Inn. It was a pretty standard motel, featuring an outdoor and indoor pool, game room, fitness room, tennis court, the works. However, in 2018, it was purchased for $4.7 million by the owners of a popular local attraction right next door. This is Dutch Wonderland, a family amusement park that's primarily for little kids. There really aren't a lot of thrilling attractions for adults, like you might find at Universal Studios, or, to use a Pennsylvania example, Hershey Park. Dutch Wonderland is, more or less by design, baby's first amusement park. I would know, because my parents took me and my brother Patrick here every year when we were little. Patrick was always very terrified of the big purple dragon mascot, but not me, I was brave. Anyway, Dutch Wonderland itself isn't important. What's important is that the park's owners, Palace Entertainment, decided they wanted to turn the Continental Inn into a family-friendly resort. I mean, it just made sense. The hotel was literally right next door to the park. So if you're gonna get money out of families coming to visit Dutch Wonderland, might as well get even more of their money with this conveniently placed motel. But then, something odd happened. For some reason that I could not figure out in all my research, Palace Entertainment got into talks with Cartoon Network, forming a partnership and jointly announcing in October 2018 that the former Continental Inn in Lancaster, PA would be converted into the Cartoon Network Hotel. I really have no clue why such a worldwide renowned brand like Cartoon Network would agree to open their first hotel in collaboration with a relatively dinky little amusement park company based in Pittsburgh. But to be fair, Cartoon Network itself wasn't exactly on the best trajectory at the time, with production of Cartoon Network originals starting to slow down, and the dissolution of the network's parent company, Turner Broadcasting System, leading to the network being acquired by Warner Bros., who would not go on to treat them particularly well. What could have been seen as the first of many forays into the hotel business for the Cartoon Network brand, ultimately ended up becoming one of the last gasps of a dying network. I mean, the hotel itself played a large part in that. After numerous delays, missing the originally planned summer 2019 opening, the Cartoon Network Hotel finally opened for business on January 10th, 2020. You'll never guess what happens 2 months later. Yeah, they had to close after not really being in business for very long. Finally reopening on August 3rd, 2020, after implementing many COVID safety measures. And after that, the hotel just stayed open at a slow and steady pace for a while. It seemed to be a pretty popular attraction for families, mainly due to the appeal of taking them right next door to Dutch Wonderland. You could buy bundles that offer to stay at the hotel and tickets to the amusement park. Which is kind of a no-brainer, since what else are you doing in Lancaster? Look man, I'm from southern PA, I have the right to slander it. Sure, it's not all farmland and Amish country, there are some high-end shops or whatever, but dude, just drive to the King of Prussia Mall at that point, it's worth the trip. I feel like the mark of true success, however, would be if this became the first of many Cartoon Network hotels. Perhaps in collaboration with other Palace Entertainment-owned amusement parks across the country. I mean, they own Adventureland in Iowa, why not just plop another Adventure Time themed hotel there? But no, this remains the only Cartoon Network hotel in the world for the past 5 years. And I knew about it all this time. I always talked about going there with Chris and Patrick just to see what it was like, but we never got around to that. And a couple months ago, it became apparent that it was now or never. On September 30th, 2025, it was announced that the Cartoon Network Hotel would close at the end of the year. Simply because the licensing agreement was set to expire, and neither Warner Bros. Discovery nor Herschend cared to renew it. Wait, what the fuck is Herschend, you might be wondering? Well, they're the amusement park company that acquired all the assets of Palace Entertainment back in March, meaning Palace is officially dead. So, with both parties who initiated the deal no longer existing, and all of their assets belonging to other companies now, it's kinda no wonder why this happened. After the Cartoon Network Hotel closes its doors on January 1st, 2026, it'll be rebranded and reopened as the Dutch Wonderland Inn in March. And that'll be that. A rather pitiful end to this odd little experiment that didn't really go anywhere. I can't see another Cartoon Network hotel existing in the future, but I am genuinely happy that a lot of kids probably made some good memories here in the 5.5 years it operated. But does that mean it was a genuinely good hotel that was worth the price and the trip to Amish country? I mean, I kinda doubted it, but I was so curious. Aren't you? So after years of hemming and hawing about the idea of going there, I tweeted, "I'm not too far from this hotel. Should I stay there and film a video before it dies?" And then 76,000 people liked the tweet, so I guess I had to. The people have spoken. And more importantly, I felt a significant duty to document what the hotel looked like in its final few months, in order to provide footage for the inevitable Defunctland video on this place. So I went ahead and looked into booking the hotel. And I could have gotten a normal, affordable suite, but I noticed that this particular date I wanted to stay had the Steven Universe Dream Suites available for $500. I mean, like, if I want to document this place, I might as well splurge on the best it has to offer. It really is a good thing this video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN, huh? An incredible product that encrypts your data and protects you online. With Surfshark, you can trick your browser into thinking you're in another country, thus allowing you to access exclusive Netflix or Disney Plus content you couldn't get otherwise. Now you can pretend you're in Lancaster, PA, and watching Cartoon Network shows at the Cartoon Network Hotel, even if you live on a completely different continent. It's a dream come true. Plus, use its Surfshark alert system to get alerts anytime your email address or password is compromised. Surfshark Alert scans various databases of leaked information and notifies its users if their data is found so they can take action, which is an absolutely invaluable feature. Surfshark is also totally unlimited, meaning you can use it on as many devices as you like, even all at the same time. No other VPN allows this. Go to surfshark.deal/Rillis and enter promo code RILLIS to get 83% off and 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN for free. It's an amazing deal, and it's even better because it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not satisfied, you can cancel during those 30 days and get your money back. If you're looking for a great VPN, there's no reason not to give Surfshark a try. Once again, head to surfshark.deal/Rillis and enter the promo code RILLIS. Have a great time with Surfshark VPN. And so, on the morning of Saturday, October 18th, 2025, my girlfriend Jess and I embarked on our journey to the Cartoon Network Hotel. Except not actually. For you see, this happened to be the weekend of my church's annual Greek food bazaar. And I was not about to miss the delicious gyros and baklava under any circumstances. So we made plans to go there and meet up with some friends for lunch. The gyros were very good, grade A tasty stuff. You gotta remember that we were planning to eat dinner at the Cartoon Network Hotel, and I did not have high hopes for their food. So I was savoring the delicious Greek flavors of the bazaar as much as I could. Anyway, after delivering some Greek food to my grandma, now we were officially on our way. Oh, actually, no, we had to stop and get gas. My bad.
At Wawa, not sponsored, and I got a matcha latte, but it was in a Christmas cup on October 18th.
For some reason, they were playing Golden over the speakers at Wawa, and this would not be the last time today I would hear Golden playing over a speaker. Okay, now for real. We were heading to the Cartoon Network Hotel with nothing else in our way. Just the magnificent sights and sounds of rural southern Pennsylvania.
Shout out to Googlersville.
That's where John Google lives.
Yes.
I really cannot stress enough. If you would travel to the Cartoon Network Hotel, you'd better prepare yourself for a lot of hay and farmland. Can't go wrong with hay and farmland, baby. At long last, though, we finally made it to Lancaster County. Finally, actual civilization.
Have the
This
lobster.
looks like that fucking America image, you know, the image
Yeah.
of all like
The brands.
yeah, but don't film me.
It's a pretty normal looking town, but with the occasional horse and buggy there to remind you of the significant Amish population in the area. Soon enough, our destination came into view.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, I was too mesmerized, I missed the turn. Oops.
Oh, okay, I guess we gotta go back.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Unless we find something else cool on the way.
Yeah, I wonder what else we could find that's cool.
You're not gonna believe this, but we found something actually cool on the way back to the hotel. I promise this is the last detour, but trust me, you're gonna wanna see this. Right down the road from the hotel and Dutch Wonderland is the recently opened Just Press Play Megastore. No, I am not sponsored by them. I just really wanted to highlight this cool as hell giant video game store that opened smack dab in the heart of Amish country. Why? I don't know, man. Why is there a Cartoon Network hotel here? I've learned to just not ask questions about Lancaster anymore.
Ready for some gaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's video games.
Yeah, they even have Lego, and they have Gengar, and they have that thing.
Jess, what is the Pokemon's name?
Duck Rock.
You got it.
Yay!
This place has everything. All the Yonobo amiibos you could possibly want. Not only is there modern gaming stuff, but they also have games from pretty much every retro console out there, on top of all sorts of plushies and merchandise.
What's his name?
Slowpoke.
What's her name?
Pepto-Bismol.
Yep.
Yes.
How about that one?
Ooh, Cosmo Lizard.
Honestly, I don't even remember his name. What's this?
Bugsy?
Yep.
Wait, really?
No.
They got manga, they got drink coasters based on Pokemon box art, they have a horribly sickly looking Jabba the Hutt figure,
Jabba, are you good? You're looking a little green. Oh.
Damn.
they even have this funny me shirt. We're building an army. Ah, that's cute. I really like that. $80! Aside from that one shirt, everything seems fairly priced, and there's a crazy amount of variety. There's even a second floor with albums. Like, this is just a cool place to hang out, even if you don't buy anything. I mean, there's an entire lounge room for you to just vibe in and play board games. It was seriously everything I could have asked for as a self-proclaimed video game enjoyer. And I would highly recommend checking it out, if you're already in Lancaster, Pennsylvania for another reason. I don't know if it's worth coming all the way out here just for this one store. But like, if you're taking your kids to Dutch Wonderland, take them here too. I don't know, why not? It's not like you can take them to the Cartoon Network Hotel once 2025 is up. Speaking of which, I guess we don't have a choice. Let's finally check this place out. Jess and I left the video game store and followed this delectable looking pretzel truck all the way to our destination. I have to say, the exterior of the hotel does look promising. It's colorful, it's got a giant Finn and Jake statue. I'm sure as a kid, this inviting, whimsical entrance would have blown my mind. We grabbed our stuff from the car and walked into the lobby, which is pretty nice looking. You can tell this is the Cartoon Network hotel because it has the Cartoon Network sign. The hotel staff who checked us in were all super nice and friendly, and not once did any of them question why 2 childless adults were staying at a 6-person dream suite at the Cartoon Network hotel. There was even an employee in a Finn costume who gave us high fives and pointed to a sign that said there was a movie playing in the activity room every night at 8. Well, sign me up. Nothing left to do but climb the stairs that led to our bountiful Steven Universe Dream Suites. But before going in, something struck me as odd. I had assumed going into this place that there were 4 types of Dream Suite. One based on Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Ben 10, and the Powerpuff Girls. Now, I wasn't wrong about that. But the thing I didn't realize was that these weren't just the only types of Dream Suites, they were the only Dream Suites. There are 4 in total. Now, why does that matter? Well, basically, the Dream Suites are the only hotel rooms located inside the interior hotel building itself. Every other room available to book at the Cartoon Network Hotel, the only one of its kind, is a motel room. I'm not a big motel guy personally. I vastly prefer the security afforded by a normal hotel where you actually have to go inside the main building in order to get to your room, instead of having your room potentially accessible from the outside of the building like this. Now I understand that a lot of people prefer motels since they're a lot cheaper. The problem is that the Cartoon Network Hotel is anything but. Most motels in Lancaster, PA will run you about $70 to $80 for one night, whereas a standard motel room at the Cartoon Network Hotel will run you anywhere from $149 to around $250. I just can't even fathom that. Like, are you just paying for the atmosphere of having Cartoon Network characters on your throw pillows? Just print out a picture of Garnet and tape it to a hotel pillow and there you go. You're getting the Cartoon Network experience. Knowing that there were only 4 Dream Suites in the entire hotel, I kind of felt a little bad realizing I was taking up the entire 6-person suite just for me and my girlfriend when it could have gone to an actual family with kids. But to be fair, it was only for one night, and I made the reservation the night before we planned to stay there, so if it wasn't already booked by then, I kinda doubt anyone would have swooped in to claim it instead at that point. Plus, at least I'm doing the service of preserving on video what this place looks like for future generations.
Oh, ew. The bar soap, like, stuck to my hand.
Speaking of which, what do I think of the Steven Universe Dream Suites? It was pretty nice, not gonna lie. I don't know if it was $500 nice, but it was certainly a cute, spacious room with some solid theming. There was a nice bedroom with drawings of Steven on the wall, paintings of all the Crystal Gems gems, and the previously alluded to Garnet throw pillow for good measure. In the main living area, there was some nice artwork of the Crystal Temple on one of the walls, a weird looking portrait of Steven, some black and white curtains, which took me an embarrassingly long time to realize were a match for the black and white Cartoon Network logo, and this cute little gem-filled corner for the kids to sleep in. Yeah, they don't get their own rooms. Instead, you just got twin bunk beds for 4 kids. With a TV in each bed, in case those kids want to watch some Cartoon Network shows. Oh, wow. There's also a TV in the living area and the bedroom. If you miss one of them, you can't miss the others. They also had some framed sketches that I assumed were from the Crooniverse. That's pretty neat. Though, Jess and I couldn't help but feel like they could have gone a little bit further with the theme. A couple of the walls and the ceiling are entirely blank. They definitely could have painted over those and immersed you even further into the world of Steven Universe. I was decently happy with the room, but again, that's kind of without factoring price into the equation. Anyway, I was so hungry I could eat an Octorock, so we headed down to the Cartoon Kitchen, the one and only restaurant here at the hotel. It was mostly deserted, aside from 1 or 2 families. Maybe that's because we were having an early-ish 5:30 dinner, I don't know. But regardless, the lack of people gave us a chance to take in the atmosphere. I actually quite liked these little pods you had the option to sit in that had their own TVs, where you could watch Cartoon Network shows, baby! The volume was quiet enough to the point where you could only hear them if you were sitting at the booth, which I thought was a nice touch, because otherwise it would make this restaurant kind of unbearable. Anything else of note here? This window had the only chowder reference I saw in the entire hotel. That made me pretty happy. Yeah, that's the one thing I might as well bring up now. For a Cartoon Network hotel, this place sure only seems interested in like 5 Cartoon Network shows. There's a lot of Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, and then a little bit of We Bare Bears and Gumball. Sometimes the TVs are playing stuff like Teen Titans Go, Craig of the Creek, and other shows I don't know. But for the most part, the hotel doesn't really have a lot of variety in terms of the shows represented. It's pretty rare to catch a glimpse of any show pre-2010, which isn't really a huge deal since the hotel designed for kids should probably focus on the current kids shows that are airing or have recently aired. But I think one cool way to truly make this fun for the whole family would be to have some decorations from the classic cartoons, like Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. You know, there might actually be some parents now who grew up with older Cartoon Network shows, and they might appreciate seeing glimpses of them here as their kids admire all the Adventure Time and Steven Universe stuff. Yeah, there is Powerpuff Girls and Ben 10, but it's all based on the recent reboots, not really the classic versions parents would have grown up with. Don't get me wrong, I'm not upset that I didn't see a bunch of chowder shit here. I just think covering all eras of Cartoon Network in some capacity would have been ideal for the one and only Cartoon Network hotel in existence. Anyway, all that bitching about a children's hotel made me hungry. Why don't we actually order some food? Yes, they sure do have a lot of completely normal restaurant meals that they just slapped a character's name on. Do you want Jake's Ultimate Cheesy Nachos? Or Jake's Cheesesteak? Or Jake's Most Delicious Sandwich? Okay, seriously, there are other characters in Adventure Time. How are you gonna have all these Jake foods and not even include bacon pancakes? Come on, raise those children's cholesterol levels already. It's honestly a pretty lazily themed menu. Like, not only do they not include any foods from the actual shows, but they don't even haphazardly slap a character's name on most of these. Just call it Chicken Pearl Majan or Mordecai Room Swiss. Hey, wait a minute, I don't think I saw a single regular show reference at this place. What gives? If it were me designing this hotel, I would have added a gumball machine that looks like Benson, but, you know, I guess I better leave hotel designing to the professionals. Anyway, Jess and I decided to try the Total Drama Pizza. Because, you know, how could we not? It's the Total Drama Pizza. What makes it Total Drama themed? Hey look, there it is! It was aggressively mediocre. I've had good Capri's pizza before, but this one really didn't have much flavor to it at all. See, me personally, I would have had a Total Drama themed dish include marshmallows in some capacity, but okay, we'd be here all day if I kept giving my suggestions for a hotel that will never exist again. After our meal, we went to the gift shop. A pretty small but cozy little room right to the side of the entrance that had plenty of variety in terms of merchandise. Everything in the store was half off due to the impending closure, and most of it was uniquely branded to the Cartoon Network hotel itself. From the mugs, to the shirts, to the hats, to the tampons. Wait, no, those didn't have Cartoon Network branding. Never mind. I thought about buying a bunch of this stuff since it was probably all going to a landfill if it didn't get sold. But I just didn't think I'd get much use out of the clothing. Maybe I could wear these sweatpants as pajamas. That could wear $55! I got a cheap Christmas ornament, plus they were giving out free pens at the Cartoon Kitchen, so, you know. I couldn't pass up the chance to have an official Cartoon Network hotel branded pen. So that is my haul, I guess. Once we were done at the gift shop, Jess headed back to the Steven Universe Dream Suite to get some more work done for law school, leaving me on my own to explore the remaining sights and sounds of the hotel. I checked out the rest of the lobby and found this mysterious closed-off staircase leading downstairs. What the f was that about? Plus some cool behind-the-scenes sketches for various shows adorning the walls. Again, it would have been nice to have some older shows represented in this capacity, but it's still neat regardless. And there were 3 other attractions here on the first floor interior. First off, the Bearista Cafe. It's a nice little We Bare Bears themed cafe where you could get coffee, snacks, pastries. Apparently there's a bar here, but I wasn't about to drink at the Cartoon Network hotel. Even I have my limits. There was also a Mario Bros. Arcade machine that required you to use your card from the Ben 10 Omnicade in order to play. That's disgusting. Oh yeah, the Ben 10 Omnicade! Yep, it's an arcade, and a pretty small and pitiful one at that. It's maybe a quarter of the size of your local Dave & Buster's or Round 1. It sounded like the kids in here were having a ball though, and that's great. But again, they probably would have had an even bigger ball at an actual Dave & Buster's or Round 1. Or at the Just Press Play video game store literally down the road, I don't know. Finally, we have the Toon Room. A cute little area for activities like coloring, arts and crafts, We Bear Bears Cornhole, an interactive game on a big screen where you high-five characters, I guess. There's an epic Craig of the Creek hide-and-seek game happening at the hotel. You know, I'm not gonna pretend that this place wouldn't be a magical experience to me when I was in the 5 to 10 age range. I think there's definitely enough here to keep kids engaged for a day or two. But I just think it really pales in comparison to a lot of other things my parents took me to in southern PA. There's theme parks like Hershey Park and Knoebels, or attractions like the Crayola Factory or the Franklin Institute. I just can't imagine spending so much money on a hotel with attractions that are so simple. It really does feel like the main idea is for you to pay extra to get into Dutch Wonderlands. And call me crazy, but I think the Cartoon Network brand deserves a little better than having to play second fiddle to a theme park 99% of the people watching this video have never heard of before. But to be fair, I haven't even checked out the main attraction yet. The pool! Time to go for a swim. Oh yeah, I went here in October. The pool is closed. But at least I can admire the sign. The land of pool. Get it? Cause it's like the land of ooh, but it's a pool. You know what? That's actually really cute. Other than that, it's just kind of a normal pool that doesn't really take advantage of the Adventure Time theming at all. The slide isn't even like a Jake the Dog slide. You put his name on 3 random foods, but you couldn't even put his face on a slide. Okay. There's also this Powerpuff Girls sprinkler area next door. Okay, that's a little cooler. And don't worry, there is an indoor pool that was open to the public year-round. I didn't feel the need to go in it. I mean, it's just a normal, non-themed pool with 2 hot tubs attached, but it's nice to know it's there for all you December swimmers. All this pool and water stuff was located in this cute little courtyard behind the hotel's main entrance, with plenty of the motel rooms overlooking it. There was some bonfires you can light and sit by, and a big open field where I saw a bunch of kids playing. Not that there were any attractions in this field, you just kind of make your own fun, since, again, neither of the outdoor water attractions were open. I'd come back here later, but for now, I went back to the Steven Universe Dream Suite to hop on Discord with my friends for one of our weekly bad movie nights. During the movie, I could hear one of the scheduled events the guy in the Finn costume pointed out to us when we first came in. The 7 p.m. dance party. Even though we were a floor above where it was happening, I could distinctly pick out a couple of the songs, including Golden, Soda Pop, and I Like to Move It, my personal favorite K-pop Demon Hunters song. With all these non-Cartoon Network songs making up the dance party events, I kind of assumed that 8 p.m. movie night would also just consist of throwing K-pop Demon Hunters on the big screen, instead of something appropriate for the setting. But lo and behold, once my personal movie night was over and I bid my friends farewell to vibe outside more, I was pleasantly surprised to see that the movie playing in the Toon Room for a grand total of 3 people was Steven Universe the Movie. I can't imagine they have that many Cartoon Network movie options. Like, I can really only think of that and Teen Titans Go to the Movies, so maybe they don't play a Cartoon Network film every night. But it was kinda nice seeing them stay on brand with this instead of just giving up and throwing on something popular. Regardless, Jess had a little bit more work to do, so I headed back outside and took in the atmosphere sitting at one of the bonfires. Yep, this is the life. Totally. Anyway, after this relaxing experience, I made my way back to the Steven Universe Dream Suite, where Jess had finally finished her work, and we decided to kick back, relax, and watch some TV. I'm pleased to report that the first set of channels you'll find on the TV guide here have nothing but Cartoon Network shows on them. Oh, thank Christ. But don't worry, it also functioned like a regular TV, complete with every other channel you could possibly want. From the Family Guy Funny Moments channel to Nickelodeon. At the Cartoon Network Hotel? Oh, how scandalous.
This is illegal, you know.
I assumed flipping to this channel was grounds for immediate removal from the premises, but thankfully, the authorities must not have caught on that we were doing this. Ultimately though, there's nothing quite like using the Steven Universe Dream Suite Hotel TV to watch some good old-fashioned Steven Universe. Being able to witness this show in its natural habitat was almost worth the $500 I paid for the night. Except not at all. While Jess was off showering and getting ready for bed, I figured I'd get the most of the room by lying in one of the 4 bunk beds and watching TV on that. And by TV, I mainly mean YouTube, since the Family Guy Funny Moments channel wasn't showing any Family Guy anymore. Eventually, I got a craving to sin more and watch more Nickelodeon-related stuff. So I looked at the Defunctland video on the Nickelodeon Hotel to compare its failure with that of my current location. And the circumstances between these two places could not be more different. It feels like they actually put forth a legitimate, respectable effort with the Nickelodeon Hotel. From opening it in Florida, to having all the rooms be hotel level quality instead of just motel rooms, to offering way more activities and amenities. When I saw the large Nickelodeon themed water park, I just had to ask,
Why doesn't this place have that?
it just reinforced the prevailing, unshakable feeling I felt about this place. The fact that it was undeniably, unmistakably lame. I hopped in the shower, had some of the leftover baklava, and went to bed shortly after watching this. Perfectly content with the idea that this would be my first and last sleep in the Steven Universe Dream Suite ever.
The next day.
So even with the shade drawn, there's still a lot of light let into the room, so I tried to pull the curtains this morning so that it wouldn't wake James up from all the light, but they don't close. This is as far as they'll go. Oh boy, no more eat, sleep, cartooning at the Cartoon Network Hotel.
This is the end.
This is the end of it all.
It's so Jover. Well, you know what? We learned a lot.
We sure did.
Maybe a pretty average room with Steven Universe wallpaper shouldn't cost $500.
Yeah.
It's over, isn't it? Isn't it?
Now I know this seemed like a bit of a depressing end to our trip to Central PA, but don't worry. We had a little extra time before we were supposed to meet another friend for lunch at the Greek Food Bazaar. And I just couldn't help thinking about that one special place I saw on my map of Central PA.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
James decided that before we leave, we gotta make a stop at Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cause like, you know, how else would you end a stay at the Cartoon Network Hotel
Right.
than without intercourse?
There it is! There it is! There it is! There it is! There it is!
There it is!
Woo!
Intercourse PA was a truly magical experience. Never before have I seen such a normal country town in every respect, with nothing notable to say about it, except for the fact that it was named after the funny haha sex thing.
Sexual intercourse.
I really wish I had more to say, but like, what you see is what you get.
The Amish experience.
The Amish experience, Amish view.
Wow.
The Amish view in.
Nice.
That's where we should have stayed.
Yeah. Amish stuff.
This is great.
Intercourse PA. Come. And that was the end of the Cartoon Network hotel trip. Was it the highlight of my year? No. Was it the highlight of the month of October? Also no. But was it at least the highlight of my weekend? Yeah, no, not really. I did a lot of stuff that weekend. I saw Hamnet and Wake Up Dead Man at the Philly Film Festival with Ryan Johnson doing a Q&A for the latter film. I had 2 great lunches with friends at the Greek Food Bazaar, as previously mentioned. And I even caught a great local production of Sweeney Todd starring one of my teachers from high school. The truth is, Cartoon Network Hotel, you didn't matter all that much to me. It was a fun experience getting to share this trip with my girlfriend, but we had funner vacations over the summer. I spent most of the trip mildly enjoying the hotel for what it was, but constantly thinking about how much more it could have been. They could have committed to the theme more. They could have had so many more attractions. They could have incorporated shows from every era of Cartoon Network and offered pizza that didn't suck ass. Again, I think it at least does a good job of keeping the attention of little kids and making them happy. When I was filming exterior shots, I overheard this family coming back from Dutch Wonderland, where the kid was excitedly explaining to his parents all the lore about the Enchiridion. And it honestly warmed my heart a little bit, hearing how hooked this kid seemed to be on Adventure Time, and how staying at the Cartoon Network Hotel probably helped him get even more into the show. I really do think this place works well enough for kids. And I'm happy they got to make some memories here for the roughly 6 years it was in business. But damn it, it is not worth the price at all. If you're not going to Dutch Wonderland, there isn't an enticing enough reason to come all the way out to Lancaster for just this place. And if you are going to Dutch Wonderland, you really don't need to keep your kids double occupied with a specially themed motel, since you could just stay across the street at much cheaper hotels. Hell, if your kids really want to experience the Cartoon Network Hotel, I'm pretty sure you don't need to book a room to just hang out in the lobby, the arcade, the gift shop, and the courtyard and back. The hotel is endearing enough, I suppose, but it's also a bit of a ripoff. Certainly could have been worse, but also could have been so much more. Ultimately, am I sad about its closure? I am gonna be so real with you, dog. Not really. As long as the very nice and helpful staff gets retained when it transitions into the Dutch Wonderland Inn. Otherwise, I couldn't care less. I'm glad I got to see what it was like, but in hindsight, I could have lived without it. And if we're being honest, every kid who stayed here probably could have too. I mostly just feel entirely indifferent to this place. But I am glad I got to share its unique brand of mediocrity vicariously with all of you. And hey, there's a reason I decided to push this video's release up to December. Because if you're watching this in that month, there is still time. You can still technically stay at the Cartoon Network Hotel before the month ends, if you really want to drive out to the middle of nowhere and visit a town with a cool video game store and not much else. Do it, you won't. Anyway, that's about it. If you end up staying at the Dutch Wonderland Hotel when that opens, please send me videos of that so I can compare and contrast. I'm not going to make a video about it, I'm just kind of curious. Good night, Lancaster, PA.